10 most terrible air raids in World War II. Hamburg, Operation Gomorrah, 42,000 deaths. Operation Gomorrah was a series of air raids carried out in late July 1943 on the German city of Hamburg. The aim of the Allies was to destroy the city's industrial infrastructure and weaken the German war machine. However, the attacks also had devastating effects on the civilian population. For over a week, British and American planes bombarded the city with thousands of tons of explosive and incendiary bombs. The intensity of the bombings and the firestorms they triggered led to one of the most devastating events of the aerial warfare in World War II. Approximately 42,000 people lost their lives, and Hamburg's physical and social structure was significantly damaged. Operation Gomorrah is a sad example of the brutality of war and the suffering of the civilian population under strategic bombing. Dresden, 25,000 deaths. The bombing of Dresden from February 13 to 15, 1945 is among the most controversial military actions of World War II. Dresden, often described as the Florence of the Elbe, was known for its art historical significance and architectural beauty. The Allied air raids, carried out by the British Royal Air Force and the United States Army Air Forces, aimed to destroy the city as a transportation hub and further weaken the German war effort. The attacks led to a massive firestorm that destroyed much of the old town and killed about 25,000 people. The destruction of Dresden has sparked an ongoing debate about the morality and necessity of such bombing raids, especially in terms of the high civilian casualties and the loss of cultural heritage. Berlin, 20,000 to 50,000 deaths. Berlin, the capital of the Third Reich, experienced continuous air raids during World War II aimed at destabilizing the Nazi regime and disrupting war production. The attacks, which lasted from 1940 to 1945, led to the massive destruction of residential areas and the deaths of an estimated 20 to 50,000 civilians. The Allied forces employed both precision and area bombing to hit strategic targets and simultaneously break the moral resistance of the German population. London, the Blitz, 20,000 deaths. The Blitz, an intense bombing campaign by the German Luftwaffe against London, stretched from September 1940 to May 1941. These attacks aimed to undermine British morale and destroy the national infrastructure. Despite the destruction of over 1 million homes and the death of about 20,000 civilians, the Blitz steeled the British spirit of resistance and became a symbol of determination against the aggression of the Third Reich. Świnoujście się, 5,000 to 23,000 deaths. On March 12, 1945, Świnoujście, a significant German port on the Baltic Sea, mainly housing refugees at the time, was massively bombed by the U.S. Air Force in a single day. The attack led to an estimated number of 5,000 to 23,000 deaths, highlighting the tragedy of warfare against civilians and the fragility of human life in wartime. Pforzheim, 21,000 deaths. Pforzheim, a city known for its jewelry and watch industry, experienced one of the most devastating air raids on February 23, 1945. Within just 22 minutes, much of the city was destroyed, and about 21,000 people lost their lives. The attack aimed to disrupt production for the war effort, but primarily affected the civilian population, leading to massive losses. Darmstadt, 12,000 deaths. On the night of September 11th to 12th, 1944, Darmstadt, a predominantly civilian and culturally significant city, was the target of an intense air raid. The attack destroyed the historic city center and killed about 12,000 people. The choice of Darmstadt as a target raises questions regarding the strategy of area bombing and the ethical implications of such decisions. Kassel, 10,000 deaths. The city of Kassel, a center of the German armaments industry, was bombed multiple times between 1942 and 1945. The most devastating attack occurred on the night of October 22 to 23, 1943, resulting in a firestorm that largely destroyed the city and claimed about 10,000 lives. The attacks on Kassel highlight the strategic importance of industrial targets and the severe consequences for the urban population. Osaka, 10,000 deaths. Between March and August 1945, Osaka, a major industrial and logistical center in Japan, was the target of intense bombings by the Allies. The attacks, aimed at weakening the Japanese war machine, led to the death of about 10,000 people and the destruction of much of the city's infrastructure, highlighting the dramatic impacts of strategic bombing on Japan. Tokyo, March 1945, 100,000 deaths. The firebombing of Tokyo on the night of March 10, 1945, represents one of the deadliest single air raids in war history. More than 100,000 people lost their lives in just one night, as incendiary bombs destroyed large parts of the city, predominantly made of wooden buildings. The attacks aimed to weaken Japanese war capabilities but resulted in massive civilian losses and exposed the ethical dilemmas of strategic bombing. For more exciting content and to stay up to date, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your support helps me create even more content that you'll love. Until next time.